Okay, so since we just finished reading the section on Ohio innovations in our book, I'm going to teach you a new reading strategy to help you remember the information in an easier way. It's called visualizing. Visualizing can help to recall and picture information. I'm teaching you the strategy because it will show you how to use visuals to represent information from the text in a meaningful way that makes it easier to understand and remember. So the state standard for this lesson is many technological innovations that originated in Ohio benefited the United States. So today, we're going to use this strategy to help you read and learn about how to use pictures to really visualize 3 innovations from Ohio that benefited the United States. So I want you to take a minute and think back on this chapter. If you need, flip back through the pages in the book. Just take a few minutes and think about this chapter. Okay, now that I've given you about 2 or 3 minutes, I want everyone to close your books. Now, who can tell me everything that was mentioned in the book? What were all of the innovations that we talked about in the book?
There was way too much stuff in the book. I can't remember it all. Lots of words and names and inventions. I don't think I can remember them all.
Exactly. So this is where our strategy, visualizing, can come in today. So I want everyone close your eyes for a second. So everyone close your eyes. And when I say the word summer, what comes to mind when I say the word summer?
Oh, I can see my swimming pool in the backyard.
He can see a swimming pool. Anyone else?
I can see a popsicle.
He can see a popsicle. Okay, so I want everyone to open their eyes. So do you see how you all explained something that you were able to see? You explained what picture really came to mind when I asked you to think about summer. So instead of thinking of words that come to mind when you think about summer, you thought of a visual, of a picture. So let's see if we can do that with our chapter today. So in a book, pictures can tell a story without words. So today, you're going to use pictures to tell about inventions or innovations that we learned about. So let's do the first one together. So we can open up our books if we need to look back. So I know that one innovation that we discussed was the flying machine, and it was invented by the Wright brothers. So who remembers how this benefited the United States?
The airplane or flying machine makes it easier to travel and to transport food from one side of the country to another.
Right, great, exactly. So how can we remember the innovation amongst all the other ones mentioned in the textbook? Should I write down a whole bunch of words?
No, that's too hard.
So when I think of the Wright brothers, I don't think of words that can describe what they did, but I really think of the flying machine. So I'm going to draw a picture of the flying machine. So maybe a machine with wings in the sky, so that when I look at it, I can think, oh, I know that that's the Wright brothers, and they invented the flying machine. So we'll just make a little, not a very good drawer. So there. And then we can write the flying machine underneath it. So now I want you to do the same thing. So take some time and find 3 other innovations from the text. Create a picture for each innovation that will help you to remember it. So when I look at it, I should know, oh, that is the flying machine. I remember the Wright brothers invented that. So take some time. If you need to use your book, you can. And really use this visualizing. What do you think about when you think of the innovations that were mentioned in the book? What comes to mind? Yeah, that's good. Why did you draw that? What does that symbolize? When you see it, what does it show?
It shows me it's a light bulb, and it's about Thomas Edison invented the light bulb.
Great, exactly. So when you think of Thomas Edison, you visualize the light bulb in your mind. Great. Okay, let's come back together now that I've given you about 10 or 15 minutes. Who would like to come up and draw their first picture? As a class, let's try to tell the story behind their invention. So it's kind of like we're reading a book with the pictures. The pictures are going to tell us about the innovation. So who would like to go first?
Do you want me to draw the picture?
Yep, just draw the picture, and then as a class, we'll try and see if we can figure out what you drew. Great. Okay, does anyone think that they know what this innovation is? What is the story behind this picture?
It looks like a light bulb.
Yeah, and do you know who invented the light bulb?
Yeah, Thomas Edison invented the light bulb.
Right, so when you think about this picture, you think of the light bulb, and you're reminded of how Thomas Edison invented the light bulb. Great, exactly. Does anyone else want to share?
I have one.
Yep, come on up. Great. Does anyone want to try and tell me the story behind this innovation? Remember, you need to be using the visual. Use the pictures. What comes to mind when you see this picture? What do you think of? Think about the text. Remember what we read about. But really focus on the image, the picture.
It looks like a traffic light.
Yeah, a traffic light. And do you remember who invented the traffic light?
Me?
Yes.
Yeah. His name is like my cousin's. Garrett Morgan.
Garrett Morgan,
Last
right.
name Morgan.
And do you think that the traffic light was important?
Traffic light's very important so that people don't have car accidents.
Right,
and you can
'cause-
cross the street.
Right, because without them, we would all be trying to go, right?
Right.
Exactly. So let's try and see if we can get one more innovation up on the board. Does anyone else want to share?
Yeah, I have one.
Yep, come on up.
This is a hard one. I don't know if you're gonna get it.
Let's see. So this one's a hard one, so it means we're really going to have to pay attention. Think about the picture. Oh, I think I know what it is. Does anyone think that they know? Maybe it looks like a boot, something you would wear on your foot, a boot.
Oh.
Maybe what is a boot made of?
Yeah, it looks like a snow boot made out of rubber.
Right, exactly, rubber. So he drew a rubber boot, and he was focusing on the invention of rubber. Do you remember who invented rubber?
Yeah, like the big blimp, the Goodyear, Charles Goodyear.
Right, exactly. So now that we've done that, do you see how we can visually see the flying machine? When we think of the flying machine, we think of this picture. When we see this picture, we think of the light bulb. When we see this picture, we think of the traffic light. And when we see this picture, we think of rubber. So do you think this is an easier way to understand information? Or do you think reading it word for word from a text is easier?
It's much easier if you have pictures.
Right, so when pictures represent information, it's much easier to understand and relate to it and even remember it. So do you see how visuals help to represent information from a text in a more meaningful way that makes it easier to remember and understand? Thumbs up if you get that. Perfect, exactly. So, as you can see, these pictures help to tell a story of innovations, just like pictures can in a book. So now,
Oh, so we could use this not only in this class, but like we could use it in social studies class, and we could use it in math class. We can like count out a certain number of M&Ms over here and a number of
Right.
M&Ms over there.
exactly, you could use it in science to do the phases of the moon.
Or when we're reading a book and like pictures of what happened in the story.
Exactly, you could use it for that. You could use it to tell like life cycles, the different stages of things, or if you're doing an experiment, drawing out the different steps. Exactly. So now when we think of Ohio Innovations, instead of having to read through my entire textbook and all these long words, instead of doing that, I can just think about, picture in my head, what comes to mind when I think of Ohio Innovations. Oh yeah, I remember the flying machine, the light bulb, the traffic light, and rubber. So this is much easier than remembering a long list of words. Instead, when I think of Ohio Innovations, just clicks in my head, I know, oh, yep, I see the flying machine, I see the light bulb, I see the traffic light, and I see a rubber boot, so I know rubber. So, exactly. Great job. Did you guys like doing it better this way?
Yay, we love pictures.
Yes, pictures, visualizing is a great way to do this.